Kevin Knight is AEW bound. He has been officially signed to AEW right here. We're going to talk about him quick on this episode of Screw the Script. Kevin Knight being signed to AEW this past week is a huge grab for Tony Khan and AEW as a whole. The reason why is right here, you can see, I have an article or a snippet from an article saying that Kevin Knight was actually approached, and I don't believe if he was at a WWE Performance Center or was just approached to go try out at the Performance Center to be eventually in NXT is what I'm reading in reports, and he turned it down and he chose AEW. So that's and then we also I saw somewhere online that Mark Henry, who is a WWE Hall of Famer or soon to be Hall of Famer if he isn't, once was in AEW for a couple of years when they still had Rampage. Now is back in the WWE. Even he himself went online and said, congratulations, Tony Khan, you've got a good one. That's what he said. And they did. And he had a great, solid first TV show match, or I should say a match on television, on Max for people who stream like myself. He had a great showcased match against Jay White, and Jay White, even after the match, it was a very competitive match, Jay White put over Kevin Knight. He got a standing ovation for a minute. He is a solid in-ring competitor, 28 years old only, so he very much fits the mold of what AEW is looking to target, which is, again, young talent under the age of 30. They have a plethora of talent now under the age of 30. A little bit more information on Kevin Knight. He was in New Japan Pro Wrestling prior to this for the last few years. He only started wrestling 5 or 6 years ago, so he has very much picked up the sport of professional wrestling very, very quick. He is a former D1 athlete, and he actually has a really good match out there. I'll actually put it in the link in the description. Against Shelton Benjamin at Defy Wrestling from, I want to say it was like 4 or 5 months ago. Both former D1 athletes. Benjamin winning, going to the University of Minnesota, which is local to me. So I've always been a huge Benjamin fan. They had a really, really good match at Defy from a few, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So again, link in the description for that if you want to see that if you haven't seen it. Again, formerly in New Japan, he was with, I think it was Kushida. Yeah, Kushida, New Japan as the intergalactic jet setters, who now Jet is now one of his nicknames. He sometimes goes by Jet Knight. To Fly is like another nickname of his. A friend of mine joked and said that he's very, has a NXT look and feel to him, which he does, which, that's not a knock on AEW or NXT at all. It just proves that, hey, this guy has the total package. This was someone that was on WWE's radar who eventually chose AEW. We all know that NXT from both promotions, both WWE and AEW, NXT across the board has the youngest roster right now. I think the average age in NXT is like 24 to 26, something like that. AEW is a few years older than that, and then I've expressed my concerns in a previous video about WWE's average age on the main roster. Raw and SmackDown is like 36 or something like that. It's they have a lot of competitors who are now just finally getting the push, like the big push in their careers. They're, like Jey Uso, which I don't agree with. He's getting his big push, but he's about to be 40. The Usos are about to be 40. They've been in WWE for 15 years or something like that, and just now he's finally getting a singles push. This is a common complaint that I've had with WWE with pushing their stars, or when they finally make big stars, they're all over the age of 35 primarily, except for a couple of them. Kevin Knight, not in WWE, he's in AEW. He's not even 30, he's 28, and I can see him becoming a big star real quick with that athleticism that was showcased. actually have a real quick clip just to showcase his athleticism. If you haven't seen the match, you can see it on YouTube now, like a highlight video. But here's a quick clip of Kevin Knight's athleticism right here.
Chop this! Oh my God, that drop kick was so high, he almost went over top of the head of Jay White.
So what are my thoughts on Kevin Knight? Where do I want to see him go? That's the second part of this video real quick. My idea for Kevin Knight is this. He comes in as a top babyface after getting the ovation from Jay White. It was a babyface versus babyface sort of match that we saw. So he goes through some people, works his way up, gets noticed by MVP in the Hurt Syndicate, gets offered a Hurt Syndicate position, and then somewhere in 2025, I see him turning heel for a short time as he joins the Hurt Syndicate. And I really think what they could do with him, which would be, I think, a brilliant idea, is sort of along the lines of what happened back in the day 20 years ago in Revolution, or maybe even more than 20 years ago. I think that was early 2000s. We saw Randy Orton get that push where he was eventually cast out of the group. He was blindsided by Batista, Triple H, and Ric Flair. I can see that happening here with Kevin Knight. He works his way up. He gets offered a position in the Hurt Syndicate within MVP, Shelton, and Bobby Lashley. All three are like, okay, you know what? He's becoming too big. He's actually a threat. We don't want him to cast us aside. Let's do it before he does it. They turn on him, and then he goes back to being a face and then feuds with MVP, and maybe to get to MVP to have a match with MVP, because MVP still competes part-time. He can go through Shelton. He can have a solid match against Bobby Lashley and pull off an upset, and then get his match against MVP. That's just, long-term storytelling on my part, just what I would do if I was booking AEW. Obviously, I'm not. Again, I'm just someone on YouTube in a chair that's got his own, his own channel. But that's what I would do with Kevin Knight in 2025 going into 2026. I think that would be a solid idea. Or if they're looking to poach more from New Japan, maybe they do sign Kushida in the future and they reunite as a tag team. But I really think he's got that breakout star look, feel to him. Definitely the athleticism you saw a few minutes ago when I showed that clip. I think he deserves a push as a singles competitor. So do something like that long term. Or if you're not going to do that, just have him go on his own and work his way up to the TNT title picture, for example. Maybe this upcoming Sunday at Dynasty, we see Adam Cole win that title from Garcia, and then we see Kevin Knight kind of work his way up, and then he eventually challenges Adam Cole at some point in 2025. So that's what I have from myself in terms of how I would book Kevin Knight in AEW. So let me know down below what you would do with Kevin Knight in AEW, what you want to see him do in AEW, matches that you want to see him have in AEW. I think with his athleticism, he would have solid matches against the likes of Ricochet, Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita would be a lot of fun because he's not a small guy. He's, I think, 6'1", 6'2", over 200 pounds. So he's on a little bit on the, medium or average to above average size in AEW because they do have a lot of smaller competitors. They do have their larger competitors as well. But in terms of AEW and WWE does have the, on average, larger male competitors. So I think, he could hold his own with pretty much anyone in AEW as he works his way up. Those would be all solid feuds for him in 2025 going into 2026. But yeah, let me know down below. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. Thanks for watching and giving me your support if you've been watching me for a little while now. That's all I had on this quick video. This has been Maverick again with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.